It is my honor and privilege to introduce our speaker for today's Lunch and Learn. Dr. Regina Lewis is an international consultant, executive coach, and CEO of Regina Speaking LLC, specializing in leadership, organizational communication, and cultural inclusion. A U.S. Air Force veteran, professor emerita, she has worked with global leaders and Fortune 500 companies and is recognized for her award-winning work in diversity and inclusion. Families, please join me in welcoming Dr. Regina Lewis.
Well, hello, families. It's always good to see you. I'm glad that you're here. Wow, we've got 42 people here right now. Big ups to that. That is awesome. And, I just really want to be able to engage with you. I had the opportunity to speak in January, my son and I, and that was just amazing, to look over and see him walking across the stage and speaking at the same time is powerful. But that also speaks to the legacy that I led as well. And so I really want us to talk about, what does that actually look like? What does that actually mean? Before we do, I do want to say, I know that, you've been asked, put your camera on, right? And I'm going to be honest, when I get on, there's times I want to multitask, like I want to do some other stuff. And it's like, I'm still listening, and I don't want people to see me moving around and blah, blah, blah. And I totally get it. And so, when the PowerPoint comes up, then it's like, oh, good. Now I can go ahead and do what I got to do because, this big screen is here. But I just want to let you all know what I do. So when this big screen is there, I can only see about 8 people at a time. But so that I feel connected, I'm constantly scrolling through, speaking to you anyway. So I do see all 45 of us on the screen, and as people come in, because I'm constantly trying to speak to you. I'm sure that you have been on some of these online sessions, maybe not in these sessions, but online somewhere. And the person speaking was almost like a robot. It's like, man, you know, just kill me now kind of thing. And it's because a lot of times people don't know how to connect over the internet, how to have that interpersonal communication. And one of the tricks to doing that is when you can see the person and you can have that conversation with them. And so that is why, for me, it's really important. And I know that you're listening, and that's a-okay. That's the most important thing to me, for sure. So I want to go ahead and get us started on our presentation. And can you all see this here? Can you see that? Okay, thank you so much, Tanya. So I'm talking about leading the legacy, turning everyday moments into lifelong impact. And notice I said leading the legacy, not leaving a legacy. I had never heard that said before. I was actually presenting somewhere and it just fell out of my mouth. I was like, I did not leave a legacy. I wasn't going to do that. I was going to lead the legacy. And that became this big thing. And people were like, wow. So it's really important. So when we start talking about leading the legacy, we have to fast forward the tape to the moment that you have now left a legacy. And when you leave a legacy and you're no longer here or there, what are people going to say about you? Because the only thing that we truly have when we are no longer in a space or on this earth, the only thing we truly have is our name. Like that's all we have. So when people speak your name, what are they going to say? There are some people, as soon as their name is mentioned, people start rolling their eyes. And, there are people who say, well, I don't care. I don't care what people think of me. And it's like, really? You have to understand that it's people that makes this world go round. You will need people, whether it's to give you a ride somewhere, pay you a check, hire you, listen to you, whatever the case may be. And even if it's not for you, it's definitely for your children. So we want to think about that in a deeper context of what does that actually look like and what does that mean. So I'm going to ask you a question and I want you to think about it for just a moment. Now, there is some handouts. If you did not receive them yet, you will, that you will be able to go back and put in some of this information. But for right now, I just want you to think about this question that I'm about to ask you. And when I do ask you that question, what I'd like for you to do is I want you to be prepared to answer because I'm going to call on some of you. And I don't know who I'm going to call on, and you don't know. So be ready because I'm going to ask whether your camera's on or not. So here is the question. If your child described you 20 years from now, what would you hope they say? What would you hope that they say? So think about that for a second, and I'm going to stop sharing for just a second so I can see everybody. Now, I'm not talking about a friend. I'm not talking about a colleague. I'm talking about your own children. And what would they say? And so I'm going to go to a couple of people. Crystal Bean, I'm going to go to you in a second. Norma, I'm going to go to you. And now I don't know if this is your name or somebody else's. It just says Aman, let's see, Amanakula. Is that right? It says Immaculata. That's it, Immacula's phone. And so I'm going to go to you, and when you do unmute yourself, please tell me how to pronounce your name. I think that that is really important because the sweetest sound that a person can ever hear is their name. And so instead of making it easier for people, they need to learn how to say your name. That's everybody. Okay? So, Kimberly, let's go. I'd love to hear from you. What is it that you would want your children to say? Uh-oh. Okay. I'm going to move on to the next person. Did their name just go off? I'm thinking so. So, Norma,
Am I speaking?
I hear somebody.
This is Kimberly
Kimberly.
Bean.
Yes, yes.
Yes, I thought I had my microphone on, and
Oh,
here we
okay.
are.
Great.
Here we are. Here we
All
are.
right.
Okay, so I was
Fantastic.
quickly jotting some things down because I got to be ready when the teacher calls, right?
I love
So,
it. I love it. Mm-hmm.
so it's interesting you would ask this, Regina, because or sorry, Dr. Lewis, that last week I we had a death in the family, and so I had just attended my aunt's funeral last week, and it was interesting when the people were up there, her sons were up there, talking about their mom, and yeah, so this has kind of been on my mind a little bit. So I think one thing is that I would want my children to know that I love them and their siblings and and their father, and family was really important, that I gave everything I had for them, and then supported them in their dreams, in their aspirations, but then also that I also loved God and then loved people, and just try to do that to the best of my ability. So,
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that, for sure. Okay, so let's go to the Norma, I think it is.
She said that she did her best in raising them as a mother. 20 years from now, and they can make the correct choices based on that.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And then Malakula.
Dr. Lewis, you probably called the wrong person because I have so much to say. And this is the very first time you call my name from the time I've been take part of your session. You are a very special person to me. I'm gonna say it, in public. You inspire me. And right now I am 49 years old and I choose to go back to school after I heard you for the first time. You probably don't even remember. Um, 4 years from now, in Parents Challenge, I cried. You inspired me so much, and I ran get myself registered to go back to school. And 20 years from now, I want my children to say that I have no excuse not to do what I want to do because I've seen my mother going back to school. I left school since I was 15 years old, so now I'm 49. You do the math.
Come on now.
I want them to be able to say that I have no excuse to do what I want to do because I've seen my mom do it. I have a 10-year-old, 8-year-old, and a 24-year-old. I'm working as a full-time living caregiver. This is how I get to be in this country. They brought me as a worker on work visa. I have 2 days off, and on my 2 days, I'm going back to school. When I was listening to you the last time, I was crying, and I said, okay, Immaculate, you have no excuse. Dr. Lewis did it, therefore, you can do it too. And sometime I have my 12-year-old help me with my homework, just like you had your son. And sometime they come and looking at me, say, Ma, you need to go to bed. When they wake up and see me doing homework, yes, I said, yes, I come into bed, but I have to do my homework because my homework is due tonight at 11:59.
Come on now.
And every day I'm looking at myself in the mirror. I have a picture of you. I said, Immaculate, you can do it. Some days are tough. I said, yes, you can do it because my 2 days off is my 2 days school. And I'm working as a living 24 hours caregiver. So here I am, excited one day to cross the finish line and for them to look at me, witness me doing it. That's what I want them to say about me.
Well, you have
And
filled.
thank you, Dr. Lewis. Thank you for being you. And please continue to inspire. You probably don't even know how many people you impact in this world. Like me, you never know how much you impacted me. But I have a chance to share with Miss Erin. Every time I get to hear you speaking, I feel like I don't know. I feel like I can do it. I got it. Yes. Yeah.
Well, let me tell
Thank
you,
you.
first of all, I want to thank you. I really do. You know, if I can touch one person, if I can inspire one person, then I've done my job. And I really do appreciate hearing you tell your journey. And even though you only have 2 days off, you said, I'm going to go to school in those 2 days, which is so powerful. And so your name is pronounced Immaculate, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let me be the first to say to you, Dr. Immaculate, you will be listen, 20 years, 20 years.
I'm
Go
sorry,
ahead,
people.
doctor.
Sorry. Forgive me.
I love it. I love it. Oh my gosh. Well, this was fantastic. Well, something
Thank you. I receive it.
I love it. I love it. Well,
I going on mute.
I'm looking at some of the text. It says here, Sonia says, I was fully present and engaging, leading by example, to be a truth teller and to live a life of integrity, supporting and guiding them, loving God and others. I was for them, not against them. We had some good times, even though, and it goes on, like mine doesn't show everything. And I don't see the other text. I'm not sure if there were other texts in here. I only got the
Would
one.
you would you like me to tell
Yes,
you some of them? Okay.
yes.
Sorry, here my mouse is going to do funny things. Somebody said we need to be at her graduation. Um,
Yes.
so let us keep us updated on that and let us know how that goes, Immacula. Somebody said that I love them with all my heart, and that I love them more than enough, that I was hard, strict, and expectant, that I love them. And everybody is like, so amazing, Immacula. Congratulations to you. Great job, Immacula. Awesome. Thank you, Jesus. Um, very encouraging. Yes. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. So amazing. You've got this. Love this. And congrats.
Well, absolutely fantastic. Hearts out to all of you. So let me tell you this. Everything that has been described takes an action. You cannot be passive in this and expect for someone to say these amazing things about you. If you sit still and you do nothing, then you're leaving it up to them to dig through all of that to try to find something to say special about you. It takes action. And a lot of times we feel like, well, what can I do? I'm just trying to survive. But there is a difference. There's a difference between surviving and thriving. And what you want to do is thrive in this work. So when you're talking about surviving, it's reactive. Now, let me tell you about reacting. Reacting is a learned pattern of behavior. It takes no thought, no choice. It's something that we automatically do because this is how we've always done it. It can be very overwhelming. So you feel overwhelmed when you are just surviving. And it's short-term thinking because we're just thinking about the here and now and what is right in front of us. But that never gets the momentum moving into a space and a place where you can be. Even if you feel like you can't do something today, you start planning today for that day when you are able to move forward. You always do that. In the military, we always said practice during peacetime for wartime activity. And it happens all the time because the opportunity is going to pop up on you and you're going to be like, I'm not ready. I don't know what to do. I never thought about that. So if you start now, it really does give momentum. That is where thriving comes in. So thriving is intentional. So when you are intentional, you move with intention. You don't move just to make it happen. I have a relative, and she doesn't do she says she's going to work out one day. She says she's going to lose weight. She said that she's going to be in a relationship. She said she's going to get a better job. And I said, well, what are you waiting on? And she says, I'm waiting on God. And I said, let me tell you, even that, regardless of what your belief is, you can't just sit and do nothing. It's an action. You got, you can't even, let me tell you something. You might drive to the store, but you still got to walk to the door of the car to get in. So you always have to be doing something. You have to move. It's reflective. So you have to not just do something, you have to think about it. You have to figure out like what direction am I going to go in? What is it that I need to do? And how am I going to get there? And so then you become intentional but on your reflection of what it is that you want to do. So you can actually take a square and you take this square and you divide it up into 9 smaller squares. That center square, you come up with whatever your idea is, whatever it is that you feel like you're going to do. And then around it, I want you to think about what are the things that you got to do to accomplish that. So that gives you 8 things. And you say, okay, I'm going to focus just on this one square for an entire week until I get it accomplished. And then you move to the next square and the next square and the next square until finally you have it completely done. So it's really about driving that. That's where that long-term thinking comes from, because you can think way out there. But now you got to bring it in and say, well, what can I do today so that it starts to build to get to that point? So that is a really important piece to be able to do. So here's a quote I love. It's children don't remember our stress. They remember our response to the stress. What are you doing? So I want you to think again over a situation or something where you're going in one direction or you see it one way and it looks daunting. It feels daunting. It seems like nothing is ever going to be right. And then you pivot it. You pivot it so that you can go onward and upward. Where have you pivoted in your life where your children have witnessed that? Where has that happened? I really would like to hear from some of you, like what that would look like. Like, I'm going to ask Hope to answer that along with Rania. I want you and then Jenny Haley to do that. So I've got 3 people that I want to hear from about something that has happened, and you don't have to go into much detail, but where did you pivot? How did you pivot? Was it you thought of it? You got up off the bed, you put that piece of cake down. I don't know, whatever the case may be. And I love your smile, Hope. So I'm going to you first.
Hi.
Mhm.
Um, I feel like the example you used, putting the cake down, um, I had a time about 6 years ago where I put the cake down for about 2.5 years. And I felt like that was a lifestyle change at that point. I felt secure in it. It wasn't like even in my headspace anymore. But
Wow.
then wasn't I feel like it wasn't even in a bad time. It was like in that relaxed, I got this, that it's like snuck back in. And so I'm in the process of re-pivoting. And I guess for me, I want my kids to see like I'm not giving up on that.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing that, Rania. And she's probably like, Dr. Lewis, you got your doctorate and you can't even say my name.
I know. Hi, I'm Rania Sawyer.
Rania.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I'm trying to be quiet. I'm in a closet because my baby's sleeping and I have COVID. So I'm in survival mode right now. But I have my two older kids in an enrichment program right now, and then like three toddlers under five. But I think for me, with that perspective, learning to be like trying better to be quiet and not respond right away to toddlers, I think is a big response. Like my sister-in-law said, wait 10 seconds before you respond. Because particularly with toddlers, I feel like, it's so easy, especially Asian parenting, say, okay, what do you need? What do you want? Or like, oh, how can I help? I have to learn to just like wait and see the response. And if they're gonna say something or do something, then I respond. Or, not basically not to freak out right away. It's like that's what I've learned as a parent. So that's what
I
I'm trying to
love
work on.
I love that. As a matter of fact, I leave Friday. I'm going to go spend a week with my grandbaby, and it's going to take everything I have not to react right away. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm going to, what? What do you need? Where? What? Right? But
Yeah.
that is the difference between reacting and responding. If you go right away, that's a reaction. And what your sister is saying, don't react, wait, and then respond to what they're asking or what's going on at that point. So I think that that's powerful. And thank you for being here. I mean, even under these circumstances, not feeling well, being on camera, having to be in a closet, your baby is sleeping, you got your other toddlers. You're absolutely amazing. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate
Thank
that.
you.
Much respect to you. Absolutely. All right, Jenny, it is you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. So I am not sure what everyone's religious beliefs are, but one thing that I do is I rely on the Lord whenever I'm dealing with stressful stuff. There was a situation that happened a couple of years ago, and in all honesty, it brought me closer to the Lord. Got in my Bible. Think of the Bible verse: "Trust in the Lord with all thine heart and lean on unto thine own understanding. In all thy ways acknowledge him, and he shall direct thy paths." And as long as I keep my eyes on him, um, he will take care of me. And I do what I can, get in the Bible and everything, and he takes care of me. And all my stresses, I need to just leave them to him and not dwell on them. And I want my children to see that from me, that just give it to God. Don't worry about it. Don't fret on it, because we can't always control things. And so that's what I do.
I love it. So I always say you can only control your controllables, right? And
Mhm.
in what you just said, I was thinking, so what's the active parts that you've done? One active thing is keeping your eye on God,
Right.
right? Another one is prayer. Right?
Hmm.
Another one is opening up that Bible. Another one is actually reading the verses. You're
Hmm.
being active in all of this. And that's something that you are telling your children to do as well. So I know that there's several things that have been said in the chat. Something that I want all of you to realize is that whatever it is that you've done to pivot, you're teaching your children. So they always say it's not about that you fell down, it's how you get back up again. And so, what is it that you do? Because whatever you do is what you teach your children. What is it that they're learning? And a lot of times we'll say, well, just don't be like me. I want you to be better than me. No, you want them to learn from you so that they can be better. And that's a really big piece to actually focus on. So, the 10-year vision. In 10 years, my child will be what? And it could be something as simple. In 10 years, my child will be 20 years old. In 10 years, my child will be graduating from high school. Whatever you want to think about. And so the worksheets that you are going to receive has all this in there. And what I want you to do is think about that, like spend some time with it so that this isn't something passive where we're just doing a lunch and learn and then you go on about your business. It's take that information and really ponder over it when you're just sitting, watching TV, or you have a moment, or even if you just think of them in your head, because you might not have that kind of time. This is a useful tool. So in 10 years, my child will be, and you fill in the blank. And then the kind of adult I hope they become. What is the kind of adult you hope that they become? And see, here's the thing. I used to think about that with my son. And when I was able to see him walk on that stage, he has become the adult I definitely wanted him to be. And it's amazing. He came into his own. But the biggest piece here is, what are the qualities that you want them to carry? What are some of the qualities? And are you reflecting those qualities? If you say, I want them to be strong, are you strong? And are you showing them that? And are you demonstrating what that looks like so that they too could actually do that? How it's like, Mom, how do I be strong? When you say, well, that's okay, don't worry about it, that's not enough. You got to show them through what you do. See, so leading a legacy is in action. It is, how do you show them what that looks like? What does that actually mean? So we're going to work backwards. And this is just a really good way to how I told you about drawing the squares, like the 9 squares? Well, this is another way to do that. You start with, what must I model in 3 years? What is something that you want to make sure that you're modeling? Strength, courage, love, respect, um, education. What is it that you want to model or must model? And then what must I shift this year to demonstrate that? What would that look like? And then what can I start this month? What is one thing that you can start this month? And then what can I change this week? So I'd love to hear from someone. I'm going to take a volunteer who really could take us through these 4 steps of working backwards. If anybody wants to unmute themselves. Otherwise, I am a teacher. I'll call on somebody while I drink my hot water. Okay, see, I took a sip. I was trying. So, Nikki, I'm getting ready to call on you and see what you got.
I think as I look at it, my answer to almost all of it is, I just want to be a good example. Like, I want to set a good example for my kids. So whether it's being honest, kind, resilient, strong, I think that word is sticking out the most to me, is just setting a good example. What do I want to model? A good example to my children, and something that they can look back on and do themselves.
Okay, I love that start. But Nikki, one of the ways that we really make change, and so for somebody to be able to measure that, is we put words to it. So if that's what you want to be in 3 years, what is one thing that you can do this year that you can, put a stamp on it? What is something that you could say, yeah, this is something I'm going to do this year to demonstrate that?
I think the biggest thing with one of my kiddos, he's kind of gotten a little bit lazy. So my biggest thing is kind of trying to get him out and volunteering. So we've gone like to the VFW and to the care centers, and kind of doing that together as a family with him and his brother. I think that's just one of the things that are coming off at the top of my head, is just showing like community and how we need to represent for our community and get out of the house, not be selfish on video games all day long. And
So, and I love that. And I won't put you on the spot, but I want you to consider what can you do, not what you're going to have your kids do, not what you're going to bring as a family, but something that you and only you are doing that they're going to look and say, "Oh, so that's how it is. Oh, mom does get involved. Oh, mom does blah blah blah." And what is that you're going to consistently do through the year? And then how are you going to start that something within that in this month and then exactly this week? So that's kind of where I'm going. And I think it was a great conversation with you because a lot of people are thinking the same way. Like, overall, this is the overarching thing, but the more
Yeah.
specific we are. Yep, go ahead.
So in that same token, it's like join in the PTO or even doing the care and share. Like, I think us being involved as a family or me doing it as well alongside him is hopefully going to motivate him to do it on his own. Because with him in like ROTC and doing all these things, he's required to do this stuff. And him falling short on that, I would hate to be it because mom comes home and is lazy and sitting on the couch. So I'm trying to lead by example in that token, getting involved in his school and doing that stuff myself. As far as putting a timeline on it, that's my change as in like this week, now, month, also continuing on. So I'm having a hard time like breaking it apart.
Okay. All right. That sounds good. Jackie, I'm going to ask you, Jackie Watt, I think. Yes. So I would love to hear from you, like if you were to go through these 4 steps, right? So, think about something that you could do and accomplish and model in the next 3 years. And what is it that you would shift? And I'm talking about just you, right? What would you then shift this year? What would you start this month? And what would you change this coming week?
Okay. So it's Jackie Wyatt.
Wyatt.
So I'm thinking of each of my kids, and I have a 18-year-old, almost 16-year-old, and then I have a 10-year-old. And so obviously, who am I going to have the most impact on in the next 3 years? Probably my 10-year-old, right? So, and it's important to me that my kids also, as a Christian, have a good, solid foundation in their faith. And it's really hard. I'm a very kind of a private person, and I'm not good at sharing. It's like, so my personal walk with the Lord is personal to me, and it's hard for me to come out and share it with my kids. And I know we need to do that. So to me, how would I, starting backwards, because I have my 10-year-old, how can I do better with my 10-year-old than I did my last 2 kids? I want to model in the next 3 years a little bit better my walk with the Lord. Like, how do I keep that closeness? How do I show, like Jenny said, like when I'm going through something, how do I show them that I'm going through something and how to get through it using the strength of the Lord, right? So that's what I want to model. So this year, I guess as I was thinking about it, we tell our kids, okay, say your prayers, did you read your Bible today? We're just telling them. But I think I need to model it more in where they see me doing it because I do it in private. I want when I pray, it's private prayer, prayer time. I maybe need to do that more frequently with my kids this year and say, okay, let's pray about this right now. When we see a situation or they're having a struggle with their friends or okay, and I do it, but it's more private with my older kids, not necessarily with the youngest. So I think that's something I could do this year,
Or
kind of bring them in.
even if you're struggling with something on your own and they see how you
Right.
turn to
How I
pray
react.
in that, yes, I think
Right.
that was amazing.
Right. And show how, okay, this is happening and this is how I'm going to put my trust in the Lord. And we're going to pray
I,
about it as a family. Right.
yes, and what I love is that what you're going to do is you're going to do it so they can watch you do
Right.
it. And then you also do something with them, because that's what the key is. It's not about let's do it all together, because that's
Yeah.
not showing them. It's when they can see mom doing it. That's
Right.
really what leading a legacy is.
Right. Showing by example so that they can do instead of just telling them, because it's easy to tell kids what to do. Um, Starting this month, like it's really hard to just break it down this quickly
I know,
on the
exactly. And
spot.
don't worry about it, because I think that you basically have it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? But
Right.
it is a way to break down something, but
Yeah.
overall, really answering it. And I really do appreciate that. That's awesome.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So you remember this, you're not just raising children, you are raising leaders. And the way you do that is through example, not just telling them, like you had said, Jackie. It's not about just telling them or come on, now I'm gonna, take you over here. It is you doing it. Like I didn't take my son and say, well, I'm gonna go to class with you, or we're gonna go do this class together. I went to college, and he watched me do my homework, because one day they're going to be on their own, and we have to be able to teach them and raise them to be independent, not dependent. And so all of that is a part of it, because a leader is someone who is independent but also knows how to depend on other people as well, which is just a huge piece. So clarity, consistency, and conversation equals impact. So this formula, if I were you, I'd take a picture of it, I'd write it down, whatever the case may be, because clarity is really important. You have to be very clear. And I'm not talking about in what you tell them, but be very clear in what you show them. And that's why you have to take yourself out of the equation and do it for yourself. And they can see that that becomes very clear. The second thing is the consistency. Don't do it just one time. Do it all the time, so that they can see that this is something consistent. This isn't just a one-off because, my parent just learned something new, and so they're going to come and show me real quick. This is what it is. And then the conversation is not just about, that they can do it too, or that this is what you're doing, but explain how you're doing it. Talk about your troubles, your challenges. What do you do when you are afraid or you're not sure? Those types of things are extremely important to be able to do. And once you do, this is what has impact. And if you want to really understand legacy, legacy equals impact. What is the impact that you are going to lead? You as the individual, which is really important. So always remember that if nothing changes, what legacy will continue? Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think about that. If you kept things just the way that they are today, without this conversation or whatever, what legacy will continue? So, in my family, we had a lot of heart disease, diabetes, cancer, weight, and that was our legacy. It just kept going until I made the decision to eat differently, to think differently, to act differently, to change it. But if I didn't, that legacy would continue. So when you think about that, what legacy would continue? And so if one thing changes, what legacy could begin is the other side of that. So look at the contrasting sides. If nothing changes, what legacy will continue? And if one thing changes, what legacy could begin? That's huge. Legacy is not about being remembered, it's about being repeated. because remember that legacy is impact. So those are the pieces and spaces. So what I want to do is I want to open it up for discussion and just spend just a few minutes with conversation about what we talked about today, what questions you might have, an idea that you might have, something that you're doing, something you want to start doing, whatever the case may be. I'd like to hear from you for just like 5 minutes. Any questions or comments? And if there isn't, then I'm going to call on Melanie. So, so, oh yes, go ahead. I see you. Go ahead, Mac.
I just learned something. I
Yes.
did not know legacy is repeating.
Yes. Yes. It's
And yeah, I did not know that. I write it down. Legacy is not about being remembered, but it's being repeating.
yes, ma'am.
Thank you for that. Like
Well,
me, I originally from Haiti,
mhm,
and I born in a poor family.
mhm.
My mom didn't finish high school, not do college. Her mom didn't. Her grandmother didn't.
Come on.
And here I am.
Yeah.
And I was like, come on now. Something gotta be changing. I'm not really, I don't know what to do, but I just feel uncomfortable with it. Just keep on going.
Yes.
And I decided I will do whatever I can, the little step that I can, so I can get a little further than where they get. Okay, yes, I did start high school. My mom didn't finish high school.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't reach to be doing high school. I did start high school, but when I reached to 15, we couldn't continue um, because of money. They can't pay school for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to stop right there. So now here I am in America, find a work contract where I can come to work. Okay, I said, what I'm gonna do while I'm working, I am going to one step at a time doing school so that my children could say my grandmother finished high school.
There you
Yes, it's been 4 years since I'm in school because I only can do it 2 days on my 2 days off. But I get to do my GED, and now I'm in college. I'm in Pikes Peak Community College
and it will
doing some, prerequisite.
yes, because you even said
So,
you said, Dr. Lewis, I saw you, and this is what I plan to do. Remember, this is repeated. This is something that is there. I want to make sure that I get to Heidi before I wrap up because I got to give space for Tanya to
oh
wrap up.
yes, I'm done. I'm like, here I am, finish my GED, and now in college doing my prerequisite to become a registered nurse. This is what I ever wanted to be. So now the cycle is already start breaking. My children will say, my grandmother did high school and do college, but I cannot say it for my mother, for my grandmother, for my great-great-grandmother. Now I understand legacy is not about being remembered, but it's being repeated. So I'm about to break something right now.
I love it. I love
Thank
it.
you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Heidi, where
Where
are
are
you?
you? I'm
Thank
here.
you.
I'm sorry, my camera is not working.
No problem.
So I guess it's a question and a statement. I don't know what it is. I spoke with you in January, and because of the conversation that we had, I decided to add more classes, and I told my son I was going to finish my degree next year. How is that going? I don't know. I have a lot of struggles because I tend to be perfectionist. So my question is, or statement, um, I guess I walk with him and I talk to him and I tell him, hey, listen, I'm struggling with this. I'm going to keep pushing. I made a promise and I'm going to do it because I always encourage him to finish his degree and he's going to get his associate. He's 16 now. He's going to get it in May and he's planning to get his engineering degree and stuff. But it's a struggle. And and I don't know what would you tell me now. I mean, one thing is when you say yes, I'm gonna do it, and then you start doing it and you're like, okay, yes, this is serious.
Yeah, and it can be hard, but I think that telling them that it's a struggle and that you're going to keep going is really important. But the even more important thing is to show your children how you keep going. What is it that you do? I'm going to write it again. I'm going to do it 10 times. I'm going to go see my teacher. I'm going to go into the writing center. I'm going to turn off the TV. I'm going to eat better. I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to wake up early. You've got to tell them so that they can repeat that. So show along the way because there's going to be times things are going to be hard for him too.
Actually, thank you. It makes so much sense. Thank you.
Oh, you're
That's what I
welcome.
needed. Thank you.
Oh, that's so awesome. Well, listen, everybody, my time is up. I know I'll be doing another one sometime this year, whatever that topic is going to be. If you all think of a topic that you have not heard and you say, I would really love for Dr. Lewis to present on this, please let us know. I will be more than happy to see if that's something I can do in my wheelhouse for sure. And Melanie, I didn't forget you. We're out of time, but I got you, girl. All right, back to you, Tanya.
Thank you so much, Dr. Lewis.
Okay.
That was such great information. One of my personal favorite takeaways was pivoting, right? And sometimes some of us have olders and littles, and you're like, oh my goodness, I really messed up. And it's like, no, you've done what you've done. And it's not that you've messed up. You just are going to now look at those examples of a month, a year, and then what do you want that to be? So thank you for that. Families, let's give another big round of applause for Dr. Regina Lewis.